This is America. America comes from a family of artists, right at the bottom of society. But when a form for this selection comes through the mail, America is far from happy. The selection is a lottery that happens every time a prince comes of marriage age. Every available woman between the ages of 15 and 20 could apply for the opportunity to meet the prince. One woman will be chosen from each sector, a total of 35, and the chosen one will be queen. This will be an opportunity for America's family to have a better life, because all the girls chosen between the 35 will automatically climb to be a tree, and their families will be taken care for as long as they are part of the competition. And America needs this, because singing won't get you much out of season. But the selection means throwing away all her plans and aspirations. This is if she ever gets selected, of course. I really don't understand this, because she's sure she's not gonna get selected, and even if she does, she'll still have to compete against 35 more girls. By probability, her life will be the same after, just like with more money. But there is more than her artistic plans. There is a boy, Aspen. They have been together for over 2 years and she is in love. But he is of a lower caste than her. A 6, a servant. It is very rare for people to marry lower. Aspen is conscious about this and the fact that he has nothing to offer. They dream of marrying, but with almost no money for them, how could they feed a family of their own? He encouraged her to sign to the selection. If she really has no opportunity, then it shouldn't hurt to participate. Finally, someone who says it. He doesn't want to be a deterrent for her to search a better life. If it wasn't enough, America's mother comes next morning with a deal. If she fills the selection form, from that moment on, she will keep half her earnings and was allowed to take jobs on her own. And this was the last convincing she needed. She wasn't interested in working alone, but being able to save money for her future with Aspen, count her in. After signing up, she meets again with our handsome 6 Asper, who decides it's time to break her heart. He loves her so much that he doesn't want to see her downgrade for him. She is devastated, and in a blur, a week passed by and the results of these elections are in. Obviously, America is selected. The following week goes by in preparation for the departure to the palace. Lots of visits. One in particular, very important, who goes through the rules. Typical ones like you can't sabotage other contestants, you are not allowed to seek the prince, he must seek you. You can't leave the palace unless the prince approves. If you're found fraternizing with other men, that could mean death. Understandable, that's reputation. But the most important of this all is that she is now automatically a tree. And if she were to rank between the top 10, she'll be considered an elite. All benefits, you tell me. And throughout the duration of these events, America's family will be taken care of. They are still 5, by the way, and they also receive a check right away for the participation. As a final farewell from this visit, he gives out an advice: don't deny anything to the prince. This leaves America very upset. She is practically being sold to the prince. She is being questioned about her purity, yet the prince has free range to do whatever he pleases with her if he chooses. As a final goodbye to her hometown, she is presented in the main square, kind of like the Hunger Games this. The lower class cheering, and those higher than her looking with disdain. Between the crowd, she spots Aspen, who is holding another girl while laughing. At least she's a 6. That's what America thought. But the betrayal, was it a lie? We don't care. America is determined now to move on and represent her people. She arrived at the airport where she met some of the contestants. Marlene, very friendly and a possible friend in this hell, and Celeste, a number 2 that looks like she is already the queen. We got presented to the lovely Biatch that is going to be our rival. Once arrived to the main city, they are received by a herd of fans, and surprisingly, there are many rooting for America, who spend the next half an hour talking with them and signing autographs. She's surprised how she managed to adapt so fast to all this situation. She is then taken for a makeover with the rest of the girls, and America insists in styling the most simple as possible. No hair dye. That one came from the stylist, by the way. No nail polish and little makeup. She's then taken for a small interview to show the after makeover. What do you think of the other girls? You don't seem to have changed much. There will be weekly reports and programmings where the candidates will appear and the process of the selection will be shown. A reality showing all his glory. They are taken to their assigned rooms where 3 maids will be at their disposal. America rooms has a piano, a guitar, and a violin. She takes some time to lay down on the bed before she has to prepare again, this time for dinner. It wasn't a pleasant experience. Every girl was looking at her with disdain, and that night the pressure of the situation hits her. She gets out of the room and runs towards the garden in search of fresh air. She is stopped by 2 guards who won't allow her to go out, and in the midst of the commotion, the prince appears ordering to let her go to the gardens. She runs for it again until she collapses on the floor. The prince hasn't left, though. He asks her if she is okay. Let me interrupt here. He says, "Are you okay, my dear?" That "my dear" felt sort of pleasant here, almost like a creepy prince. If I was her, it would also annoy me. She screams back not to call her that, forgetting the honorifics. Maxon is confused about her attitude when he just gave her what she wanted, so he stays to talk more. I think he's a little bit of a masochist. Both agree that the palace is a cage, although a pretty cage. And she confesses she's not really interested in winning. She's just enjoying the food and luxury until he kicks her out. He laughed at that, inciting her to then enjoy her stay. He then leaves with a final request, for her not to mention their encounter. Other girls may not take it well. He kisses her hand and off he goes. Is this a typical "I like you cause you treat me different"? That type of trope? Hi there! If you're liking this video, don't forget to leave a like, it will be greatly appreciated. Now back to the video. Next day, they are properly presented. She apologizes for her rude behavior the night before and makes him an offer. He knows she's not interested, and she swears she won't be, because she is in love with someone else. America offers to be his confidant until he finds the one that he is searching for in the other girls. He didn't have to worry about courting her. In exchange, she'll keep receiving help for her family for participating a little bit longer. He is cautious about the offer, but I'm sure he'll come around. He meets all the 35 girls, and by the end, 8 are eliminated, and they proceed to dine with the queen and king. During dinner, Maxon sees America enjoying her tart way too much and decides to tease her. The teasing ends up in a bet. If her sister ends up crying because of the same tart, then America could wear pants for a week. If not, she will go on a date with him. She even had the opportunity to receive a letter from her family. Unfortunately, her sister didn't cry, and next day she goes on the date. She talks about her family on his request. Once in the gardens, unfortunately, she misunderstands the situation and ends up kicking the prince, shortening the date. "My girl, what you doing?" He seems mad that she will think that he will take advantage of her, but he still sends her a pair of pants as a gift that night. The following day, the rebels attack during breakfast. Most girls are hysterical, but America is quick to seal the windows. Guards fill the room and everyone stays waiting. Maxon talks with America about the rebels. There are 2 groups that reside outside society, and every once in a while they attack, although it is not sure what do they want. America then pushes him to comfort the girls, starting with her own friend, Marlene, good one, and Marlene managed a date request with the prince thanks to that. 2 days later, she is playing cards with her mates when the doors open, and the prince finds her like this. With the maids dismissed, he strolls through the room asking about her possessions and pointing details, until she pushed him about his visit. He thinks that since they have this strange friendship relationship, they need a different method of communication to meet. They set on tugging their ears. Next event was the weekly report of the selection. The girls sit in rows and the host starts by interviewing the prince. He proceeds to tease America without saying her name, about how she screamed at him that first night. He also made use of the ear signal before the show, and I'm sure they're gonna laugh about this later. He takes her that night to the gardens where he vents about his worries and the shame that is dating in front of his parents and the whole country, the pressure to also find a life companion, and that person likes him back. I would have liked for his feelings to be addressed a little bit more and for America to comfort him more, but oh well. She assures him that he will find that person, and that's it. And then he asks her about her love story. By the end, he's also upset on her behalf for the fact that Aspen was with another girl, and America doesn't want to go back to find out. Because of this, Maxon promised to keep her on the competition until the very last moment. Next day, the air is tense between all the girls. America was seen going out with Maxon last night, and this is upsetting the contestants. Why is America getting 2 dates and others none? America is uneasy with this situation, although also happy that her friend Marlene got a fun date. Turns out Marlene and Maxon went to the movie theater in the castle and holded hands at some point. But moving on, by the end of the morning there was an incident where a girl slapped Celeste, and since no aggression is allowed, she was sent home. Things are getting intense. Next on the schedule is a photo shoot. Appearances are important. The future princess needs to look good beside the prince. And I'm sure America photo is going to be the most loving one, since they were laughing all the time. He also trusted her to hear an official message he received during the photo shoot. And she is surprised by that. 2 days later, another girl goes home. Although no one knows the reason, the girl's only warning was to care about what they say. After this, America decides she wants to see Maxon. Will he tell her what happened? He's very quiet when it comes about the selection and the girls. She then sends him a note and the guy comes practically running, thinking she's in trouble. After seeing she's okay, he stays a little bit longer since he wants to escape the accounting meeting. But their talk turns to this matter. Maxon wants to increase the money for education, but America is quick to point out that that is not going to solve the issue of the lower classes. And I myself think, how dumb is he? Even if education is better, the caste system keeps people on their places. She talks to him about people going hungry, and she even places him in a hypothetical scenario where he has someone he cares about, and he opens his eyes and looks at her. That is not a mistake. He's supposed to have his eyes closed, by the way. She then makes him imagine not being able to feed that special person, and he gets visibly upset. He even asks if she has gone hungry, which the answer is yes. He leaves after that. The contestants' interview day is here. There is some competition in regard to the dresses. Since it is obvious that America seems to be the favorite, everyone is trying to dress like her. Blue dresses, simple jewels, and little makeup. America mates decide to make a turnaround to combat this with a beautiful red dress. And when she appears in front of the other contestants, America is almost sabotaged by Celeste, who took her aside and told her to exchange dresses with her. But she refuses, and aside from a sleeve being turned, the evening continued without incidents. Until she sleeps in the interview. When the time came, she confesses being the girl who screamed at the prince, and continued to tell the whole story at petition of the prince himself. He's way too amused about the situation. She then unintentionally called the prince by his name without honorifics, sending her in a whole spiral of shame. She then tries to save herself a little bit in the last question. What do you think about the prince? She decides to be sincere. He's a good man and he's going to make a great king. Any girl will be lucky to have him. That night, Maxon came to the room joking about the interview, but more important, wanting to know if she really believed what she said about him. She was being honest, of course, and this created an atmosphere where he actually kissed her. Although it was brief, she is surprised by his actions, which leads to this awkward moment where she is about to leave, but she stops him. She is flattered, and she asks him to erase that memory and try again, so he will have a better first kiss. This time it was more tender, and he asked if she will be able to consider them, and she says yes. Some days later, she is distracted by the kiss and confession until one of the girls rush in and tell everyone how she's been kissed by the prince. America is not entirely disheartened. It's not as if she is in love with him, but still feels uneasy with this situation. Besides, it will be normal for him to make sure he's making the right decision on the girls. And it also doesn't mean the contestant is telling the truth. A week passed by and America and Maxon are spending time together when they bump into no other than Aspen in a soldier uniform. He was drafted and is now working in the palace. She doesn't tell the prince who the guard really is, just that it is a hometown friend, and Maxon, being oblivious, places Aspen as the personal guard of America. He will be guarding her bedroom door, and now she doesn't know how to get out of this. Some days later, I know guys, time in this book moves fast. One of the girls was turning 19 and a birthday party was made in her honor. The prince attended to wish her well, and during his visit, the girls rushed to welcome him, and Celeste takes this opportunity to stain the dress of the birthday girl. And America decides it is time to report her to the prince. This doesn't go as planned. He doesn't think she's lying, but she may have gotten the situation wrong. When she tried to tell him about the dress incident, he gets mad. He explodes, telling her that she has to respect him as a prince and blah 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 blah. What has gotten into him? He lives with that and she can't believe his reaction. But you know what the worst part is? Almost as a punishment, she kisses Aspen in return.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Later on, Maxon tried to meet her, although she did not answer the ear talk back. And that night, Aspen entered the room to talk to her for the first time, proceeds to kiss her, and she accepts it. Familiarity, that's what she was thinking. She had missed him. Her guilt next day didn't surprise me, by the way. And then the castle is attacked again. This time it's more brutal than the last one. Because of this attack, Maxon is forced to narrow down the contestants to the elite. He decides to just stay with 6. Between them, Celeste, Marlene, and America. That night, America and Maxon meet. The last one apologizing for his temper and reminding her that he is interested in her in more than just a friend. America is once again regretful about her kiss with Aspen. Aspen, who, by the way, that girl we saw with him? It had just been an accident. She tripped and he caught her. At the end, America is the only one playing both sides in here. Maxon is also innocent. He is in a rush to find a suitable wife and needs to have into account political advantages and public perception. And America hasn't even said yes to him. He believes she could leave at any moment.
Bye, have a great time.
But he is really trapped in here. Anyways, America kisses Maxon too. Aspen comes back for more that night, and finally America makes her decision. She set straight that they won't have any type of relationship in the castle. He broke her heart, and although she still loved him, she was now in the selection and she liked Maxon. It's time to participate for real in the competition. The end. Oh my god, I enjoyed this book so much. It is very fun and well paced, and I'm eager to read the rest of them. See you next time guys. Thank you for watching.